it's Miss W, and today's Artrageous art lesson is literally out of this world. That's right, we're going to be leaving this planet through the magic of art. And we're going to be traveling to none other than our very own solar system. So get your pencils ready, hold on tight, and let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. We did it! Good job! Did you know that art can take you places you never imagined before? It absolutely can. And today, we're not really going to go into the solar system, but our artwork is going to be based on the artist of the month and the planets in the solar system. So today, our goal is to use our imagination, our creativity, and the elements of art to create your own fantastic solar system collage. So I can't wait to show you what we need to get started and start thinking about what you know about the planets in the solar system, because that's going to help make your artwork even better. So you ready to get started? All right, let's go. This Artrageous art lesson comes from this book, Dynamic Art Projects for Children, and it's written by Denise Logan. This is considered fantasy space art, so you can combine real things with imaginary things to create this artwork. The concepts that we need to learn about are astronomy, fantasy space art, and illustration techniques. Artists who specialize in this style of fantasy art combine art and science in an exciting hybrid that requires the skill and precise work of the traditional fine arts. Planetary maps and knowledge of the planets, stars, and other planetary objects are as necessary as the palette and the brush to artists. So we need to first think about what do we know about the planets. And last year I was lucky enough to meet the illustrator of this awesome book, by far my most favorite book about the planets, called Meet the Planets. This book is an awesome illustration, an example of what the planets look like and how they were discovered, and it's filled with all kinds of facts about the planets that hopefully maybe you already know, maybe you might not know. So it says, welcome to the first ever favorite planet competition. I'm your host, Pluto, coming to you live from the solar system inside the beautiful Milky Way galaxy. These planets have been around for billions of years, and they have been viewed through telescopes and visited by spaceships. And tonight, one planet will be named the favorite planet. So without further ado, let's meet the planets. They're solid, they're rocky, they're close to the sun. Here come the inner planets. We probably don't have time to read the whole book, but I will put this on the board so you can look at it and you can see lots of the colors and the textures of the different planets. The planets are the first part that we're going to be working on for this project. So we're going to need a lot of different supplies, and it's going to take a lot of steps to make this piece of art. But like I said, think about what you know about the planets first, and just by looking at the illustrations, you can see that these planets have a lot of color and texture, which are 2 elements of art. We're also going to be learning about the artist of the month, whose name is Jackson Pollock. He was also called Action Jackson. He was born on January 28th in 1912, and he became one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. He's most famous, or best known, for those huge paintings that he made by splattering, throwing, and dripping paint on the canvas. This is one of his paintings called Galaxy, and it actually does look like outer space. So that's why we're combining the artist of the month and what we know about the planets to make our own solar system collage. So to get started, here is what you're going to need. This is going to be a painting, so it can be kind of messy. I always like to lay down newspaper to protect my table so I don't get paint everywhere, because we are going to be doing some splatter painting like Jackson Pollock. We need 2 pieces of paper, a black piece of paper, and you will also need a white piece of paper. Now the white piece of paper, I actually already printed off some of the planets for you. So if you look right here, it has the sun and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planets. I don't think Pluto is considered a planet anymore, so there's actually only 8 on here. Now, you could color the planets and make it look like they're a texture, but I like to turn my white paper over and I like to paint the whole back of my paper, and I'm going to show you why. So, the white paper is for the planets, the black paper is going to be for the stars, and we're going to be splatter painting that. So, to get started, I write my name on the front where you can see the planets. I flip my paper over, and like I said, we're going to be painting the whole back of the paper very quick with thick paint. So, I got an egg carton, and I put a little bit of tempera or acrylic paint in each compartment. And I got a cup of water, and I like to use a big paintbrush so I can paint really fast. We also are going to need a piece of plastic wrap to lay on top as soon as we're done painting. So we want to do this really fast. I'm going to start and make mine look kind of like a rainbow or the color wheel, because then I can make sure I have one color of each for each planet. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to wash out my paintbrush, and then I'm going to use green. If you don't wash out your paintbrush, all the colors could turn brown. Okay, so now while the paint is still wet, I'm going to get my plastic wrap, and I want to tear off a piece as big as my paper and straighten it out. Plastic wrap can be kind of hard to keep straight sometimes, so you might need a partner to help you with this part. But while the paint's still wet, you're going to rub on the plastic, and you can see it's making a lot of cool texture that looks like craters on your planets, which is going to look really awesome. Now the red paint kind of dried, so I'm going to go back and add some more paint so it sticks. Maybe a little bit more yellow up at the top. Okay, now this one is ready to go on the drying rack. And while that is drying, I'm going to get my black piece of paper and my pencil, and I'm going to write my name and my teacher's code on the back. I'm going to flip it over, and this is where we're going to be splatter painting the stars. So you need to wash out your cup of water and get some clean water. And to do splatter painting, you need 2 paintbrushes. So I have a medium-sized paintbrush and kind of a big paintbrush. Now you're going to take some of the water, and for the stars, we're only going to be using the white paint. I like to add a little bit of water to make it watery. So I'm going to mix it up right over here, and I'm going to add some water to it because you want the paint to be kind of runny or watery. Now, once I have some paint on my paintbrushes, then I'm going to take the small paintbrush and I'm going to start tapping it. And you can see when you tap them together, it makes lots of little Okay, now once I'm finished splatter painting the stars, that looks absolutely awesome. Now I need to let both of these dry, and once they're dry, then I'm going to start cutting out my planets. Now, if you didn't have the planets printed on the back, you could just cut out some large and some small circles, and with the extra paper that you have left over, you can draw mountain shapes. And then I used a black oil pastel to make shadows on one side of the planet. So the sun would be shining from this direction. So this side of the planet is lighter, but I put a shadow on that side. I also used a white oil pastel to make a space station right here. So get creative and use your imagination. Think of different things that you would like to add to your solar system, and have fun making your collage, because we're going to be gluing these together to make one picture.